8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hustle Bunny. I'm your host, August Sky, and of course, the very sexy, beautiful Carmen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where on earth is Carmen Sandiego?
Right here, babe. Right next to you. Don't you worry.
Always here. Always a good
Always
time.
next to her. Always. That's where you'll find me.
I know. It feels like it's been forever, even though I see you like every other day. Pretty much every day.
Every other day. But we did take a little self-care this week, a little bit, I feel like, the both of us, which is always a good thing. And that's what you got to do.
Hustlers got to take naps, too, and self-care days.
This is true.
Go to the spa and all those things you gotta do to get yourself back right.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I'm glad you're here again.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me back again and bringing me into your fabulous world.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you know, only the best of the best.
Oh. So tell me, you just got back from Ohio, right? Well, not just got back. A couple weeks ago.
It was about 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah. For All-Star Weekend.
It was All-Star Weekend. So I worked All-Star Weekend my first year dancing in North Carolina, and it was insane. But mind you, this was pre-COVID. This was like 2018. Everywhere we went, everything was good. Everywhere was crazy. Black Beatles was the #1 hit on the radio. It was like every stripper's dream.
I could feel it in my soul.
You know
when
what
that song comes on, it's like everything in the world is right.
You know, when that first little hook drops and like the little
yes.
Yes, you're like, oh my God. Oh, it's like when Juvenile's Back That Ass Up comes on.
Oh, 100%.
Doesn't matter where you are. Like, you could be at like someone's funeral. You could be at the Dollar Tree. You're backing that ass up.
You're backing it up. You're backing it up for everybody to see, and they're joining.
Right.
So no shame.
No shame at all. No, it was actually pretty cool. It was like a whole different, how would you say? Ohio is like a very unsuspecting place, I should say.
You know, it's really like, to me, and no disrespect to any Ohioans, but when I think of Ohio, I there's just not a lot that I can really picture in my head other than, you know, some of the main things. But like when you were going, I was like, wow, I'm like, I wonder how it's going to be. I can't really think of the way it even looks, you know?
So it's like such a weird little city. So the reason I ended up going was we have a mutual friend, Max, who is actually from Ohio. She's like danced at this club. And it was Hustlers, so it's like a Larry Flint club. Really nice, really beautiful club. And I don't know if the club had like all of its A1 girls out because it was All-Star Weekend, or if like Ohio just brought the baddies out. And I'm like, dang, like this is like what Ohio is hiding, right?
Right.
But the city itself, I guess it's really under I guess they're building it up. I guess that's the best way you would say it. I mean, rent out there for like luxury living is like $940.
Oh, so it's not quite gentrified yet.
It's not quite gentrified
not like
yet.
Over here.
No, it's very like, you would almost think like you're on the East Coast, which you kind of are. Like you're close to the East Coast, which I obviously haven't read a map in a long time because for whatever reason, I thought Ohio was like right around here with like
Why did I
Utah
think that too? Like
and
the
Wyoming.
Midwest?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was like thinking.
We need to go back to school. We need to pick up a book every once in a while.
I feel for as much traveling as we've done, and we still don't know how to read a map.
Oh God, don't ever put a map in front of me.
Oh no, I don't know where I'm going.
I will lead you straight into hell.
Oh yeah,
that is the honest truth.
Girl, beep, beep.
Don't ever ask me for directions. Well, you've learned the hard way not to ask me for directions.
Just driving down the wrong side of the road.
All of a sudden, we're in California.
Oh wow,
how did that happen? I knew what I was doing.
You knew what you were doing. Just keep headed west.
Yeah, just
keep on going west. Yeah,
keep going.
And then now we're somewhere in, I don't know. But it was actually like a great experience. The club was really, really nice. What's different about like with traveling and dancing is you get to see the city for what it is by the people that it brings out.
Right. Especially at a strip club.
You're going to see all walks of life, everything, all the girls, every type of girl. It was really like a well balanced mixed club. You know what I mean? There was just as many Black girls, Hispanic girls, white girls, all working, and every different type of body type you could think of. I mean, really petite to what we're kind of used to seeing out here our way in Denver, or like really like you would think like they'd be like in Miami or something, with like the BBL,
super curvy,
the whole like IG baddie kind of a look going on with the lip filler and the all those different things. But for the most part, I mean, everyone had like their own look, but it felt genuine out there.
I love that.
And the money was, I mean, I feel like because there was like a lot of girls working, the club was really nice, really big, 2 levels.
I remember seeing some pictures. It looked, I mean, I don't know. I know here in Denver, we like to keep it, all the history alive and whatnot.
Girl, that's not history anymore. Those are called demons.
Right. Well, yeah.
We need to get a whole ass, what do you call the exorcism?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They need to excavate and exercise at the same time. All of it. They need to do it all. But no, that club looked like it was like brand spanking new. It had the white tablecloths. It had the really nice kind of like more centered, bigger stages with the poles and stuff. Like it was more like focused on that.
Yeah, it was more of like
Not
a
like
strip
the
club
bar.
vibe.
Yeah.
When you come out to Denver and different all the clubs, they kind of center it around the bars more so than the stages.
Right.
So everyone has like that lame excuse when they come out here of like, I thought this was just a bar.
Yeah, I came just for a beer.
I just came here for a beer. No, there's like girls shaking titties right behind you in your beer.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's some girls snorting cocaine off of the table right next to you. And you mean to tell me.
And you said... Come on. No, and more than that, you pay $12 to get in and your beer costs $9. So
I mean, a whole pack of Bud Light costs $9.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? That's a good point.
A whole pack of right?
You might as well just, chill. But it's all for the titties, okay?
It's all for the titties. It's all for the titties. As long as someone's getting paid, I guess.
And thank goodness
That's kind of like a shitty mindset, kind of like in the strip club. You're like, oh, I'm about to get that back. But you kind of say the whole house has to eat.
They all have to eat, and I know it will make our life harder if the bartenders weren't there. It would definitely make our lives harder for sure.
Shout outs to Casamigos Blanco.
Yes, our fave.
They're the reason why they're always on backup. Like they're in back order right now.
And this is not even a joke. Like we're not even kidding. And this also just happened to us recently. Just when was that? Last week, like on Wednesday or something, right?
Right.
We decided to go to this little bar, kind of hidden in Globeville. I guess they're doing things there now.
So what area would you call that? Because I saw like a lot of Rhino stickers, kind of like they were trying to like extend it to Rhino, but I feel like I didn't get to see it because it was like in the nighttime and coming off the highway. I can't see for shit.
No, exactly. Well, so where we were, anybody that's familiar with when they're talking about Globeville, they're also talking about Swansea, which is it's a strange little area. The only way I could best describe it is when you start smelling the dog food, the Purina plant, you know where you at.
You know where you at.
You know where you at. And so the whole entire thing with where we were, I've never been under there. We were like under a bridge or under an overpass or something like that. But I mean, I guess they're doing things that, I mean, everywhere, in Denver, Inglewood, wherever, everything is changing.
It's always like something. Like now they're trying to turn it into like something. Like sometimes it's not always like the things that we want to do, but they're creating more of like a nightlife that wasn't always here for a very long time.
A different kind of nightlife. Like the nightlife that we had was drastically different from the nightlife that we're seeing now, but I honestly, I don't really even care for it. I think in this day and age, you and I would just go to a strip club. We're strippers, but we would go to a strip club.
Right, and if you ever see us in the strip club, count your blessings. I feel like we're each going to just fucking be the bitches who come in there with like the bags of money.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And then just have like the money guns and
like
all
Usher.
of it.
Like we're going to come in like Usher.
And we're going to do the little dance moves and everything.
1,000%. 1,000%. But
hey girl, come sit on this knee.
Yeah, come on.
Come on.
Right here.
I know you want this
Come
money.
on. Come on, honey. Come on.
This is the least of your worries tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And then we get kicked out. But but with the tequila, it was funny because we ended up in this little, I hate to call it a dive bar.
It was more so, it really wasn't hipster. It was like fashiony, underground, graffiti on the walls, but the crowd was like gallery, local fashion designers.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you are from Colorado or like raised in Colorado, you would understand the vibe per se, as far as just like, like real Coloradans, like, like it's almost like going down on Broadway. So it's like that Broadway aesthetic.
That's a good way of putting it. That's exactly like what it felt like, but in a way off the beaten path for us, at least. And the funny thing is that of course we automatically made friends with the bartender.
First person, you always gotta be friends with the bartender.
This is a pro tip, okay?
Last person
Ladies,
to piss
gentlemen, never piss off the bartender and always befriend them. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you gotta do a little bit of small talk. If it's busy, okay, let him be.
Right.
But give him a good tip, okay?
Right.
But you know what? Once that bartender's your friend, your whole world changes, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
When you're going out, they remember you.
Mm-hmm.
Just, being cool with service people is the right thing to do,
Oh, you have to.
and, being nice and
well, for a
whatnot,
short time
but
in 2020, they got their claim of, what were they, essential workers. Now everyone shits on them again.
Oh,
which
that's
makes sense,
right.
Now
Yeah.
they're like essential workers, and now everyone's like, well, like, okay, they've always have been, because if you think about it, most jobs in this world are customer service when you really think about it.
Yeah, everything that you do every single day.
It's unless you own that bitch, unless you're like fucking Jeff Bezos
Yeah.
and all these fucking people, when you own the world.
Exactly. Unless you own the world.
Unless you own the world.
Then then you got to be nice. And you know what? Be nice. Just be nice.
Just be nice. Whatever. Be nice to these people. Tip them fat. I know we always tip fat, even if they are busy. I understand it. I've been a bartender. We've been all these like different customer service industry. We're still in the customer service industry when you actually think about it.
Totally.
But still take care of them because they're working hard. Unless they're like slow and they're just like treating you like shit. That's like one thing. There's some people who are just like are not good at this kind of work.
Right.
But for the most part, I think we didn't even pay for our tab. I think we tipped the girl like $20.
Oh yeah, didn't pay for the tab. We started out by saying, okay, we'll have 2 shots and a drink, and we were trying to be responsible. We were sharing that drink, y'all. Okay, so we got 1 shot each, and then we were sharing a drink because we are responsible.
Because I didn't drive.
I didn't drive it, never. Okay, but so that's us being responsible. If you want to get a better view of what's going on inside our heads, long story short, about 4 shots later each, they said, you guys wait because we're out of tequila.
They're like, we got to go down to the basement and see if we got any. And I think they were just done.
No, and that story of our lives.
Every night.
If we had a book, and it was about us, it would say, and then they drank all the tequila, the end.
They're like, they see us coming. They're like, no, we just ain't even got it anymore.
They go, no, ladies, just go somewhere else.
Please.
We don't even want your money.
Machete's open. They're waiting for you. Open arms, open hearts, all of it. Go see them.
Speaking of that, one of our favorite holidays is coming up.
Cinco de Mayo.
A.K.A. Cinco de Drinko.
They die-o.
They die-o.
We're going to die.
They R.I.P.O.
R.I.P.O.
It's one of our, but to be honest with you, just to spend time with you and hang out and have fun. I mean, when I don't think we really take ourselves too seriously, anywho, but any opportunity where we can actually plan to actually have fun and go out rather than, having us just be the fun and going out.
And then being the fun. We're always the fun. No, Cinco de Mayo is every day for us. But
very true. Very true. Tacos, margs. It's going to be
all of the yummy stuff.
If only the only thing that would be better is if we could actually go to Mexico and be on the beach.
We'd be the El Chapo's 15th girlfriend.
Yeah, I'll be the 16th.
On the second roster.
I'll be the 16th. I'm ready. I'm ready for the title.
I don't care either.
I'm ready.
Back to the travel, dancing, and all these different. We attempted to travel to North Carolina, but because of COVID,
yeah, it didn't really work.
Couldn't really work.
So that's why I'm kind of picking your brain about it because, honestly, I think while being a dancer and being in your home city, it's easy to kind of get up and go, almost like like a normal job. I know that sounds kind of crazy for most people to hear, like a normal job. What? But we have to get up, get ready, and go and try to make this money just like anybody else. It's just a little differently. But when you're getting thrown into a new city, a new situation, and new people, I mean, I don't know about you, but even sometimes here, I still get a little nervous. And I've been dancing for almost 10 years.
Well, you know what? That's like you have a little bit more time under my belt than I do, but I feel like we've had a lot of the same experiences, and I started in a little faster pace. I know Shotguns is way faster paced but it's kind of similar to like working down south, where you're just like, when you go, you're going. Like there's no like baby step clubs to go work at. It's just like there's like clubs that are like, okay, like, if you're gonna go to Onyx, you got to give off Onyx energy, right? You can't just be out. You're going to be out there. I'll give people like an example who don't know what Onyx is. You're going to be out there with like the Black Chinas, the Amber Roses, these like love and hip hop, the Cardi B girls. Like that's what you're going to be at. And if you don't have like that kind of energy and that kind of like mindset, then you will not make it.
No.
And and I think Denver has like Denver has like entry level clubs. You know what I mean? It's like, we'll start here to go here, to go here, to go here.
Right.
There's not just like a fucking do-all, end-all club out here.
You're so right about that. And I think that's what makes it kind of nerve-wracking thinking about going to another state and working, just because you never really know. Like, for example, in Ohio, would I necessarily think that there would be this huge, nice, crazy club? But since All-Star Weekend was there, that is definitely, you have to have nice, big places where people could go party. And I guess what you don't realize is when you've been working at the same kind of clubs for so long, that there's such a different variety of clubs all across the world, but across America, that just because it doesn't work for you here, which I must say, even though, like I said, I haven't necessarily worked in other states, I've of course partied there, which that doesn't mean that I know everything, of course. But Denver in particular is a very, very hard state to work in. There is something about trying to convince someone that they want to be there, even though they're already there. It's like working at a used car dealership, and I'm not saying we're the used ones, but trying to convince that person that's in there to actually want this, when in reality they came in.
Right. They almost like want to be sold on something, but it's like, okay, the product sells itself. You pick and choose what you want. Like, don't sit up here and like, I feel like the people in Colorado, they're very sensitive, and they almost feel like, what we get a lot out here is like the guys that make packs and say like, I would never spend money. I'm not going to spend money. It's like a waste of money. Or like you see them and they're all broed up and they're just like chatting. Well, go home and suck each other's dicks.
Exactly. Do the jerk
I don't know. Yeah, do the jerk circ. I don't know what you guys want, but like trying to make this like bromance of like, fuck strippers, like fuck this. Like I would never do this. But then be the same guys be like, well, can I get your number? I'd really like to take you out to dinner. Yeah. I'm like, where are you going to take me to, bro? Chili's?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? The whole entire thing about that, which my love for chili, so that might work for me. I have a.
You do have a soft spot for chili.
I do, but I totally understand what you're saying, because I think women are quite outnumbered here too, in Denver in particular. I'm not quite sure about the stats on it right now about the women versus the men. How I've always heard that there's so much more men, and to be honest with you, I believe it. I just feel like I see men constantly, but sometimes I think in my head, I'm like, am I putting that in my brain because I work constantly with men? That I just constantly feel like I see so many all the time.
Right. And I feel like all the women that we are always surrounded by are the girls that we are working with, or like, I'm sure we have friends outside of our regular circle, but like we're just I know what you mean when you say like we always have that mindset. And I think also too, the club is so small that we work at.
It's so small, guys. Like, you have how many square footage up there do you think it is? Not counting the bathrooms, the back area, the stages themselves.
Nothing.
like-
I feel like you can like literally stand in the front, like so you can come around the little corner. When you actually like stand in the front door and like you look through it, you can like see all the way to the back to the other exit.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good
You
way.
can see from front to back to the club just within standing in like the door frame.
Which I'll tell you what, if you have a super annoying customer, you're not hiding there. There,
no.
you try to. I've hid behind her sometimes.
Yeah.
I've ducked.
You have-
I've weaved. Hasn't
We've-
always worked. Yeah.
Did one of those? I don't even know what you call that. A little shuffle over here.
No.
And I'm like 6'4" when I put my shoes on. Okay, she's like you're like 5'2" when you put shoes on. You're like actual normal size.
You're like trying to hide, but you're like, you just put your hands in front of your face.
Of course, and then of course we always like have like fucking rhinestones and glitter
Oh.
on our fucking face. I got
Of
some
course.
fucking Scary Spice pigtails going on. Like, who are we, kid? And then we're yelling at each other from across the way. I'm all,
Right.
Carmen, like thinking that people can't find us.
No, and they're like, we can literally we could see you and hear you. And we're like, that's so crazy. No, you can't. So anyways, gotta go.
Yeah, so you want to know what's crazy is like when you travel and go to these different places, even though that we weren't able to dance in North Carolina because of the whole COVID thing, which was my home club. Shout out to Capital Cabaret, made so much money working there. You can see the vibe that was there, even though that it was kind of slow, but you could still see like it was like such a good mixture and it was such a big club. And you can kind of catch the vibe from being there.
Right.
And like the vibe from like when you go to like these different places, like they're all so different. And like you said, Denver's a really hard place.
Yeah.
I feel like when you go to places like Ohio, when you go to places like California, New York, Florida, I don't know, other places I'm not really aware of that I've never danced in, but I've heard like Detroit and all these different places where like they understand like they're in a strip club, they want to have fun, they
Right.
want to throw money, they want to have dances, they want to get experiences. Like, hey, like I want like you, because like I told you, like down south, like there's not that many girls that like look like you or like as tatted up as you are. So it's like, oh, like that's so different. Like I want that,
Right.
And it's like they're paying for their fantasy at the time. They're enjoying the weekend. They're going to go back home. They're going to go to church on Sunday or whatever it is, back to their family.
Right.
And then, it was like a part of a thing. And like, hey, they'll be loyal as fuck. 'Cause I tell you, they'll hit you up and like, hey, you're going to be working tonight.
Right.
Compared to here, I feel like the people really want to be babied. They need to know your life story. Where are you from? Oh no, where are you really from? Like people
Yeah,
can't be
what's
from
your real
Colorado.
name?
Yeah, what's your
Yeah.
real name? And it's like, do you like my titties or not?
Yeah, like I'm sorry, like why are we talking so much?
Yeah,
That sounds like
exactly.
the double standard. I know it sounds like the double
It does.
standard.
It really does. But I feel like
But-
all of our sex workers would understand.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, it's one of those things where I think, I'm born and raised here. I've never lived anywhere else. You've
Right.
you've lived multiple states, haven't you?
So I was born in Memphis, Tennessee,
Right.
and then we moved up to Colorado. I left Denver a couple of times, but I'm never for more than like I was in North Carolina for 2 years, came back to Denver. I was going back from here to Toronto pretty frequently. So I was like in the process of moving up there, but COVID hit, shut down the borders. Couldn't go back in. Still
Right.
can't really. I went back up there and it's still crazy.
That was a hot mess.
Yeah, but I was going to Toronto pretty much every other week for like
That's so
2 weeks
cool.
at a time.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I've never even had it in my brain like, to go to Canada just because, like when you're vacationing, but you initially started going there for work.
For
not,
work.
Not like as a vacation, but I feel like just in the time that I've known you, I feel like I have learned that you have grown to love it.
Oh, you would love it too. I heard that Toronto is one of the best places for dancers to go.
What's so crazy? I've actually heard that too without really like talking about it. I've heard
Yeah.
that. I've also heard that the girls, girls are going to be beautiful everywhere. Let's just get that straight. But I've heard just like when people talk about Canada, they're like, oh God, the girls are so just drop dead gorgeous.
We got all 32. We got every kind of ethnicity up there. I mean, you have, just everything. And then you got girls coming in from New York. You got girls who are coming in from Atlanta. You got girls who are coming in from, I know, like kind of over in like in the Asian region. You got a lot of European girls coming out there. So you got like every kind of like want in one place. And their strip clubs go fucking hard.
Wow. Did you actually go to a strip club I know that you didn't go out there to work at a strip club.
No, so I visited a strip club. What was the name of that club? I can't think of it right now, but it's the number, I think it's the Brass Rail.
Oh, Brass Rail.
Brass Rail, my makeup artist. This is like another crazy, like, great thing about Toronto too, is that my makeup artist, shout outs to Kyle, she's a little crazy. She's a little crazy, but she
We
is
love that.
I don't know, I don't want to like misspeak here, but she's not quite transgender, but she looks exactly like a woman, but still, you know, has all of her male parts.
Yes.
So I'm sorry if I misspeak on how you identify yourself as, Kyle, but she said the good thing about working out there is not only does she have her own clients, but there'd be like Sunday nights would be nights for women like her.
I love that.
Yeah, so like they say, if you go into the strip club on Sunday night, like that's what you're getting. So like that's like a nice thing about it, is that they're open to everything.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, here, you know, unfortunately, I think it's still too taboo for people, which is just kind of ridiculous.
I feel like
obviously,
strip clubs
but
in general out here are still super taboo.
I think they're taboo. Not even talking about that. I think they're
Yeah.
even taboo. Just like, for example, just like even with us, like I think people are surprised by our duo.
Yeah.
A lot of the times,
they
you
like
know?
malfunction.
They're like, what? Hell, yeah, well, no.
They're like,
This
first
can't
and
happen.
foremost, no.
Just stop.
Go over here. You go over there. Time out.
No, both of you can't be together. Their brains want to explode. So I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. But no, honestly, just in just the whole scheme of things, we even have some friends that are from, well, they're not from Portland, but they lived in Portland for a super, super long time. And we see them quite frequently, and they always have stories to tell us. And stories they have told us, yes. They are, they're crazy. And that's what I'm talking about when I say like taboo. That's what I think of when I think of taboo. I think of people being who they want to be is not taboo. But when, not to be too derogatory here, when someone's shooting a ping pong ball out of an orifice. I don't even know if I can say that.
No, you can say that.
I'm like,
this is like rated R. You know what? I've said some crazy shit on here. I don't even care. But let me just tell you, I just feel like, so they told us that story, shooting out ping pongs.
Yeah.
And then they told us about, they said they came in on a Sunday brunch day. Mind you, Portland has more strip clubs per capita than anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. Basically, that's just like a job. I wouldn't want to dance there. Oversaturated. For me.
Right.
But they said that there was a girl who had a remote control car.
Oh my God. I thought I dreamt that. I'm not even kidding. I am not kidding you. I am so glad. I am so glad that you said that, because how do I bring that up if I didn't actually thought I remember?
You want to know?
His face.
You want to know what's crazy? It's like sometimes I'll be having like these random thoughts. I'll be having like a "that's so Raven" moment. And then I'm like, did I really like? No, that actually like someone actually told me this.
No, see, and that's okay. That's another real okay. If you ever wanted to be inside of a entertainer's mind, just think of the craziest thing that you could ever possibly think of. That's it. That's it. Remote control cars. Let your imagination run wild. Okay.
And ping pong balls.
And ping pong balls.
And ping pong balls. But you know what? I think all in all, my experience traveling, shout out to Max. We have to have her on a show. She's fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
And just to keep in mind what Max like looks like. So she is
God,
kind of
so
like,
hot.
she's gorgeous. She's drop dead gorgeous. Perfect porcelain skin. Kind of has like a Dita Von Teese kind of a vibe going on.
Yes.
And then I got what I got going on. So, I mean, it just kind of tells you that like we had two completely different dynamics. So this wasn't just like a one-sided kind of thing, you know what I mean? It was like, so people were like wondering. It was a very diverse crowd of people, because I know sometimes that can be kind of misleading when you actually want some like real information on something, you know, and they're like, okay, but like what did you look like?
To you. Yeah.
Right. Like I'm, you know, like for me, like I'm not going to be like, well, you know, like if you were like a blonde, skinny, you know, if we had completely, petite. If you were completely opposite, I'd be like, well, it was good for you, but like we don't have anything
in common.
So I'm speaking from my point. She's in Max's. I'm giving you guys both sides. I'm trying to. She's not here. We'll have her on here. She'll explain to you more. But I think traveling it's much needed for us this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's definitely in our plan. I know that we've talked about it a lot, and honestly, I think it's just time to try just some new stuff, you know, mostly with dancing, of course, but girl, I like to eat. Well, and I feel like there's so many things I have not ate, and that makes me very upset.
Well, you know, we're going to end this show on. I'm going to remind you about the baked potato.
Oh, girl, don't.
That's a whole nother story
That's a
for
whole nother
another
story.
day.
Whole nother story.
We got stories for. I'm telling you, like these dreams that you think we're having it actually happen.
They're fever dreams, and I hope you guys are enjoying it and not having too many nightmares.
Well, Carmen, I'm always gonna say, where on earth is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh, and I'll always be right here, babe.
Yeah, I know you're always gonna be right here, my ride or die. Well, until next time, guys, stay hustling, my little bunnies, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.